Hey, what is up guys? So today I'm going to show you how to do some interesting things here with Google Sheets. We're going to go ahead and go to docs.google.com and go ahead and hit over here this menu button and go to Sheets. Here we're going to hit a blank sheet right here, and this is something I just barely learned the other day, which is really pretty awesome. So here's what we're going to do. We're just going to go ahead and make a column with different variables in it. So let's say we're making a financial spreadsheet here. So let's say the item, let's say the price, let's say if we paid for it, and let's say the tax on it. So this is just very basic. Let's just, to make this nice and pretty, let's go ahead and add a fill color there. And we'll just make out a sheet just like that, and we'll add all borders. So there we go. Very basic and very simple. So let's say we have an item, apple. Apple was $1. We paid for it. No, we haven't paid for it yet, and the tax was 7 cents. Okay. Now, there's a couple things here on Google Docs. When you're making a financial sheet, it makes sense when to Google Docs to go ahead and just assume that when there's a decimal place of 0, it's just going to cut it out. If you want to increase that, like I would prefer to show the cents here. I'm going to go ahead and click right up here where it says increase decimal places. I'm going to click it. That's going to show me 1 decimal place. Click it again. That'll show me 2. I can click as many times as I want, or I can decrease right here. So we'll leave it right like that. This, we could also do the same thing and bring it back. So then let's say tax was also $1. You can see it automatically jumps it to 2 decimal places. So tax is not the price of the item because that would be ridiculous. Alright, so then let's say we have an orange, and price for the orange was $1.50 because oranges are better than apples. Did we pay for it? Yes, we paid for the orange, and tax on this was, let's say it was 11 cents. We're rounding up here. Okay, so again right here we're going to go ahead and add the decimal place, and if you really want to, we would just go here and then drag this right down here, select all of them, add to, and then so they're all lined up here. Now when I put in any random number, it's going to go ahead and add those decimal places. So what we're going to do now is we're going to make it so that if we paid for an item, it's green. If we haven't paid for an item, then it's red. So it's pretty simple to do this. All you do is you click on the cell you want to conditional format, and we're going to go ahead and click format up here and then hit conditional formatting. This gives us the option, if the cell is not empty, it's going to default to green. But what we want is it to only default to green if the text is yes. So we're going to say text format cell if text is exactly, and then our format is yes. Okay. And then right here it gives you some default. I always go to custom format, and I like this green better. I don't know why, but it just looks cooler. And let's say if we have paid for something, we're going to make it bold. If we haven't paid for something, we'll make it italic. So then we hit done here, and then we're going to add a new rule. And then we're going to do the same thing. If text is exactly no, then we are going to, let's custom format this one also. We're going to make it red, and we're going to make it italic. Done. Alright, so that's exactly what we want here. Now that just did it for that one cell. We're going to want this whole range. So we're going to go ahead and go like this. And same exact thing. If text is exactly no, we want it custom red, italic, done. And then if text is exactly yes, then we want it a better looking green. Oh, not the text color. We want the background a better looking green, and we want it bold. Okay, so there we go. Now we're good. So now you can see this one didn't add that rule. We have to so again, this one only had that, so we need to select this whole range again. So there's that whole range. You can see right here, these are showing us what cells they apply to. So C2 through C14. We're going to go ahead and add this rule one more time here because it didn't work the first time. So text is exactly no. We're going to go ahead and change it to red and make it italic. There we go. So that's pretty simple. Let's add another item here. So let's say we bought a pear. You know what, let's make this really interesting and say a bear. We bought a bear. The bear was $214. And we're not even going to put numbers because it's going to go ahead and automatically do that there. Have we paid for the bear? Yes, we have. So that automatically turns to green, bolds it, and we're good to go. And the tax on the bear was, like, let's say $28. Alright, so again, we need to scroll down through these, add those decimal places, and then let's say we bought a deer. So we bought a deer. The deer was $150. Maybe we're like starting a zoo or something. Did we pay for the deer? No, we did not pay for the deer. And the tax on the deer was 30. No, that's too much. The tax was $14. Even though that's not right math, but it's okay. Deers and bears are expensive and different tax ratios. Okay, so now here's what we're trying to do. What we really want to do is we want to get this entire row to be red rather than just this one cell. So what we're going to do is a little bit interesting now. We're going to go back into here and we're going to select all of these again, and we're going to go back into this rule. So now we're going to go, rather than text being exactly, we're going to go to custom formula is, and our custom formula is equal to, and then we're going to go look over here and see which cell is going to be our first cell in this column with a variable that we're trying to get. And the variable is going to be either no, yes, or blank. So we're looking at the first cell. So that would be right here, which is in column C, row 2. So we're going to go over here to our custom formula and hit equals to $, capital C, 2, and then we're going to hit equals to, and then we're going to hit double quote mark, and then yes, and then double quote, close the quote. So we can see they're popping up right here. So what we're going to do now is we're going to hit done. So you can see the same thing was applied here for those. Okay, so now what we're really going to do is we're going to jump over to here and then apply to range. We're going to hit right here. We're going to add the range A2 because that's where we want to select it from. A2, which is right up here, and we want to go to D14. So there we go. You see how now we got the green across there and they're both bold. I mean all of the different items in these columns are now bold. So now we're going to do the same exact thing for red. I'm going to show you a different way to do it here. So what we're going to do is we can select this whole section, your entire graph, and we're going to go up to format and hit conditional formatting, click right here, and then we are going to change this. Actually, we'll just start over here. We'll just garbage that and hit add a new rule. So now we're including the entire our entire sheet there, and we're going to go ahead and go down, scroll all the way down to the bottom. Custom formula is the value or formula. Again, we want to use the first variable here in our different changing items. So it's going to be right here, C2 again. So we're going to hit equals to $, C2, and we're going to hit equals to and then double quote and the word no, and close it. And then we're just going to style it however we want. So like we said, we like the red. Ooh, that's kind of an orangey. Let's go to red and we'll go to italics. Okay. And let's underline it. So then we'll hit done. And then up here, let's actually change this to a strike through. So we can see that we're done with those because we've paid them. So now, this is what it comes up with. We can see what we haven't paid for right through here. We haven't paid for the apple, and they're underlined, it's italic, it's in red. We have paid for the orange, so it's strucken out. It's striked out, and it is green. So we can add now a new item. So let's say, what should we buy now? How about a car? So we're going to buy a car. The car costs us $2,000. Automatically adds the cents there. And then did we pay for it? Yes, we paid for the car in cash. And how much tax did we owe on it? We owed $70. Alright, so you can see it's automatically updating everything and taking care of this. This is a great way for keeping track of your finances and taking care of expenses. It's really easy because it always updates. Once you build this, it's going to be set up for good. So anything from up here to A2 down to D14 is going to have those rules applied to it. What you can do right here is, let's say you're getting down to the end of your, for demonstration's sake, we'll just copy those in. You're getting down here to the end of your sheet. We're just going to go in here and hit insert row. You can go above or below, and you can just keep inserting rows. And you can see right over here that our rules are now changing. Our conditional format rules are now changing to adapt to these added rows that we're inserting. So now if we go down to here, which is a row that technically didn't exist, and let's say we want to buy a truck. We want to buy a truck. The truck is $6,000. And did we pay for it? No, we didn't pay for the truck. We don't have $6,000. And tax was $300. So you can see it's still automatically updating, even though this a minute ago wasn't part of our sheets. But anything that if you click in here, hit insert row above or below, it'll continue with our conditional formatting. Just one last thing real quick, guys, before we end. I just wanted to explain to you a little bit about the rules and what this actually means right here, this $C2. So the $sign is going to mean that the following character is going to be a constant, meaning so C means we're going to stay in the C column when we progress line to line. If you were to put $C, $2, the entire thing would be basing itself off of this one cell, because it's constantly, as it moves line to line, it's going to keep checking C2, rather than if we get rid of it, it's going to be checking C2, C3, C4, C5, etc. So what we're doing is we're actually making this number 2 a moving variable. It's going to keep changing as the rule runs down the list. In this, if we were to get rid of C, again, you could see we're jumping now to A. It's going to run a little bit differently than how it would before. So what you're trying to do is going to go ahead and hit $C. So we're keeping C a constant, and we're running in number 2, number 3, number 4. And if you are thinking about doing this in a different fashion, so let's say, for example, that you were trying to, let's just say something like this, you were doing this simply in a different fashion. So same table, so we have item, we have price, we have paid, and we have tax. We'll just go there for now. And so now you're listing the items a little bit differently. You're gonna put apple, you're gonna put price was $1, you're gonna put paid was no, and tax is 0.07. Okay, So now you can see we got basically the same exact thing here, except it's just lined up differently. Our different columns are now turned into rows, and our rows are now turned into columns. So if you were to run the same exact thing over here, you would go ahead and select this area, I'm sorry, right there, and then go ahead and hit conditional formatting, and then we would go to the same exact thing, custom formula is, and then it would be equals to, and then instead you're going to go ahead and you're going to be in the G3 right here. So you're going to hit, rather than $G, because we're not staying a constant here in G, we don't want the rule running here and then here and then here and then here. We want it rather running here and then here and then here. So we're going to go ahead and put G, so G is going to be changing, and then $, so 3, the row 3 is not going to be changing. So if that is equal to no, then we are going to make the entire thing blue. So now we run a second one here, let's say orange, and the price is $1.50 for the orange. And we did pay for it, and the tax was 11 cents. So now we're running this, so we're going to go ahead and select all of this here. We're going to add, let's just go ahead and extend this range just a little bit to H4, so you guys can see it working on both of them. And then we're going to hit done. We're going to add a new rule. So we're going to say if equal to, and then we are going to put, again, we're going to put the first variable G, but we're going to have a constant row 3. So G, and then the constant row 3. If that is equal to yes, then we are going to make you that color, orange. So now you can see you can put in anything here, and you can say no. Of course, our rule doesn't extend that far yet, so we're going to go ahead and select this real quick, and we'll just change it here. Now instead of going to H4, it's going to I4, and the other one as well. Rather than just going to H4, it's going to I4. So now we can see that our rule extends all the way through here. So example, let's change, yeah, we've paid for example now. You can see now it's changing that way. So rather than the rows being our items, the columns are now our items. And the difference between the rule is row 3, meaning this entire row right here is constant. This is where all our variables are coming through, rather than column C, where all our variables are coming through. So it's just a matter of switching the $sign up, depending on how you like it. If you like running it this way, if you like running it this way. I personally prefer this way, but it's totally up to you guys. Anyway, that about does it, and that concludes. Thank you guys for watching. Stick around, check out more videos. I'm going to be continuing uploading different videos and tutorials. Super cool stuff that I'm learning that I want to pass along the information. So thank you guys again for watching, and if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. You guys are the best. Have a good one.